I'll say specifically to you, Dan, because I know you're very anti-sprint, right? You're not on board, but the way I see it, you look at the viewing figures, the increased viewing figures on a Friday, the increased viewing figures for the Saturday, the increased, I think, what like value for money you get from a ticket as well. If you go on Friday, you're actually seeing something competitive. As much as I'm like, yeah, if I could have free choice in my dream F1 and I didn't have to think about the commercial side and all that, I probably wouldn't have the sprint. But for me, it's just inevitable. So I've kind of gone past the stage where I'm not even bothered about complaining about it anymore. I know it's gonna happen. So now I'm just like, how do we make it as good as it can
Hmm.
be? Because I think competitive running Friday, Saturday, Sunday is inevitable. It will just be the total F1 calendar in like 10 years. I've got no doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah, I've
Hmm.
fully resigned myself to the fact that I am reaching that age where I'm like old man yells at cloud, and I appreciate that what I think is probably not what a lot of other people think. So
I think you probably have a more old school fan point of view though. I think that's like you fuck the sprints, classic weekends, P1, 2, 3 qualify race. And I'm with Tommo's points are exactly it. Like commercially, it makes more sense. You're getting more action, you're getting more value out of the tickets, and if they can keep this going, but what we're discussing, and we've got a video I'm working on for tomorrow, is talking about that. Like we're effectively trying to band-aid stuff that's not broken. We're changing stuff that's not broken to try and fix things that are broken, like the technical regulations, the formula, how much downforce and drag the cars produce, the new engines that are coming in, which make me like I might not even be watching Formula One in 3 years with if those new engine regulations are as crap as I think they could be. I think we have enough clever people working on this to make it good. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I,
there you go. In 3 years' time, if we're still going, I'm going to have to start hosting job applications then for Blake's spot.
but like
Adrian, if you're listening and you're free in 3 years' time, I know you've just signed a
yeah,
contract extension.
he's got the extension in, bro. But here's the thing: two sides. An engineer. The new weekend format makes engineering quite a bit easier. It makes it less enjoyable, easier. You're not there Friday night until midnight dicking with the setup. You've made your bets Friday afternoon on what you're running. The rest of it is rocking up operationally and trying to get the most out of what you've got. And it puts even more emphasis on the tools and infrastructure in the background to get you there. As a fan, me now going from an engineer to I watch all the sessions and I'm looking at all the cars and who's fast and who's slow. I'm looking at all the data. It's too much for me. Honestly, I'm just like, it devalues the entire thing. And I was completely like, no, that's a stupid argument. But I really think it does. Like, why do we need that much action in a weekend? It's so much shit going on. I'm by Saturday night, I'm exhausted trying to enjoy Formula One the way I want to enjoy it. I need to go back to just like literally being like, cool, car finish, car go zoom, very happy. I go get beers now.
Blake, I've got a question for you actually. The idea I've seen floated around, and in theory to me it sounds sound, but obviously you'd know a lot better than I would. The idea of between the sprint on Saturday and the race on Sunday, opening up opening up part Fermi so that you could change the setup of the car, because then at least it's like you've not got the exact same 20 cars going out on
Yeah.
Sunday as you did Saturday. It's like, okay, maybe Ferrari could make some changes that add loads of performance. Another team could make some changes that actually end up dicking them over, because I mean Ocon and Hulkenberg saw it fit to take the punishment and go all the way to
Yeah.
the back just for the setup change.
With
Would that help, do you think? Make
with
it more
with their
less
risk
copy and paste?
Yeah, with their risk reward level though, it makes perfect sense go to the back. But on the other hand, I think it could be interesting, and it just completely depends, because you would see interesting shifts from Saturday or from Friday to Sunday in terms of, let's say that you're going to Park Ferme for the sprint qualifying, or for main qualifying, and then you qualify and sprint with that same car, and then you can change it for Saturday or Sunday, for example. That could be super interesting. I just don't know what it looks like, and I don't know what the team's trade-offs in terms of lap time versus top speed and race competitiveness that they're dealing with. I don't know what those sensitivities look like right now, because maybe a level of rear wing doesn't really make any difference. So maybe you wouldn't do that. Or, because people talk about this, oh, it's a race setup or oh, it's a qualifying setup. I've seen a few of those. There's not much in them in terms of lap time. So
I just feel like if we want to add unpredictability, not add, just make this
Yeah.
like it's a team sport, right? And this is why I'm talking about, maybe there's an argument to mandate a pit stop in the sprint, because and maybe there's an argument to allow setup changes between the sprint and the race, because then it's, you'll put in more control, I guess, in the hands of the team.
Yep.
Just not just the pit crews, but
Yeah.
the performance engineers and everyone else to like be involved in the performance of that car rather than just that's the car set up. Now the drivers are just going to deal with it, and we kind of know what they're capable of, and maybe it's a bit too samey. Like pit stops all the time in F1 add so much. Like imagine if we didn't have pit stops. Like the sport would be like there would be nowhere near as excited and interesting.
No,
Like, pit
it wouldn't
stops
at all.
are imperative, and it's just like adding that team element.
Yeah.
I'm generally behind that.